If you're a diehard Browns fan and love breaking down the game like we do, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a blitz. The tension in Cleveland is reaching a boiling point. You can feel it in the air, you can read it in the fans' posts online, and you can definitely hear it in the chants echoing through First Energy Stadium. Or rather, the silence that follows another tough Sunday for the Browns. For the fifth time in their last 6 games, the Cleveland Browns walked off the field in defeat, falling 27-20 to the New York Jets. That loss dropped them to 2-7 on the season, and it wasn't just another L in the standings. It was another sign that something deeper is wrong inside this team. 2 straight weeks on the road, another sluggish performance on offense, and a fan base that's running out of patience. If there was ever a moment to shake things up, this might be it. And yet, head coach Kevin Stefanski seems determined to stay the course, even as the ship looks like it's taking on water fast. The story everyone's talking about, the one dominating sports radio and YouTube comment sections alike, is the situation surrounding rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders. Ever since Cleveland spent a 5th-round pick on him out of Colorado, there's been buzz, some of it excitement, some of it skepticism, but all of it amplified by the family name. Shedeur, the son of NFL legend and college coach Deion "Primetime" Sanders, arrived in Cleveland with swagger, charisma, and a reputation for poise under pressure. But in the eyes of fans, he's not just a backup, he's hope. Hope that maybe, just maybe, the Browns could find lightning in a bottle the way other franchises have with young quarterbacks who weren't supposed to be ready yet. But so far, that hope has been locked away behind clipboard duty, as Stefanski continues to roll with 3rd-round pick Dillon Gabriel. Now, Gabriel isn't a bad story himself. Coming out of Oregon, he had a productive college career and was known for his leadership and competitiveness. But in the NFL, the numbers tell a tough truth. Through 7 games, he's thrown for just 869 yards, with 7 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, completing barely 59% of his passes. That's not a disaster for a rookie, but it's also not the spark Cleveland desperately needs. The Browns currently rank 31st in total offense. 31st. That's not just bad, that's near the basement of the league. The only thing keeping them from being dead last is the occasional flash play or defensive turnover that gives them a short field. Week after week, fans have watched 3-and-outs pile up, deep balls sail just out of reach, and red zone chances stall out. It's the same story on repeat. And that's why the noise around Shedeur is getting louder by the day. What makes it even more frustrating for fans is Stefanski's tone when asked about the situation. Reporters pressed him again on Monday, asking whether Sanders might get his shot soon. His response: "I don't think it's fair to speculate, Daryl. We're committed to getting better as an offense. Dillon is certainly committing to improving every which way he can. All of our players, young players, are developing and working hard behind the scenes." Now, that's a coach's way of saying, don't expect changes anytime soon. But the issue isn't just about patience, it's about belief. Browns fans have been patient. They've waited through rebuilds, quarterback experiments, and coaching changes. They've watched potential turn into disappointment over and over again. And now, when there's a talented rookie with NFL bloodlines sitting on the bench, they can't help but wonder what Stefanski's waiting for. The calls for Shedeur aren't just coming from fans in Cleveland either. Across social media, former players and analysts have weighed in. Some say Stefanski is protecting Sanders, giving him time to develop in a more stable environment before throwing him into the fire. Others argue that if the team's already sitting at 2-7, there's nothing to lose by letting the kid play. After all, this is how careers start or fizzle out. Sometimes, you just need to see what you've got. The Browns aren't making a playoff run this year. That much is clear. So, what's the harm in experimenting a little? Especially when the current formula clearly isn't working. Inside the locker room, the mood is reportedly mixed. Veterans are frustrated, trying to keep morale up, but clearly aware of the offensive struggles. The defense has done its part, holding teams close enough for the offense to have a chance. But when that side of the ball sees their effort go unrewarded week after week, cracks start to form. That's where leadership comes into play, and Stefanski knows it. He's built his reputation on steadiness and culture, not impulsive decisions. Still, there's a thin line between being steady and being stubborn. Right now, a lot of fans think he's crossed it. Shedeur, for his part, has kept things professional. No public complaints, No cryptic social media posts, no signs of frustration. Just quiet confidence and preparation. He's been seen working extra hours with the scout team, studying film, and running through practice drills with intensity. Coaches have praised his maturity and intelligence, saying he's picking up the playbook faster than expected. But none of that means anything if he never gets the chance to show it on Sundays. The comparisons to his father are inevitable, but Shedeur is trying to build his own path. And right now, that path is blocked by a head coach who seems more interested in staying consistent than experimenting. When the Browns travel to face Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens next Sunday, the stakes couldn't be higher. Baltimore's defense is fierce, opportunistic, and playing with swagger. They've won 3 straight, and they smell blood in the water. For Cleveland, this could either be a turning point or another step deeper into frustration. If Gabriel struggles early again, the pressure on Stefanski to make a switch could reach its peak. Imagine the headlines, the social media storm, the chants from the stands if Gabriel throws another interception or misses another open receiver. Fans will be chanting, "We want Shedeur," before halftime. And at that point, will Stefanski really be able to ignore it any longer? This whole saga feels like the beginning of something bigger. Either Stefanski proves his faith in Gabriel right and salvages some pride in this season, or the noise becomes impossible to silence and Shedeur Sanders finally gets his chance. And if he does, you can bet all eyes in the NFL will be watching. Because love him or hate him, Shedeur's arrival in Cleveland has brought energy. People tune in because they're curious. Can Prime's son make it in the big league? Can he handle the spotlight, the pressure, the chaos of the NFL? Everyone wants to know, and the Browns have that story sitting on their bench. But here's the catch. The NFL isn't a movie, and coaches aren't usually in the business of fan service. Stefanski's job depends on wins, not wishful thinking. If he truly believes Gabriel gives them the best chance right now, he'll ride that decision until it either works or breaks him. The question is whether that belief is rooted in data, loyalty, or fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of throwing a young quarterback into a bad situation, or maybe even fear of losing control of the locker room narrative. It's hard to say, but one thing's for sure, the clock is ticking. Cleveland has seen this story before. Quarterback controversies are practically part of the franchise DNA. From Johnny Manziel to Baker Mayfield to Deshaun Watson's roller coaster tenure, it always seems to circle back to the same theme: instability under center. And now, with a new generation of quarterbacks in the building, it feels like history repeating itself. Fans crave something different this time. They want excitement, youth, and a glimpse of a better tomorrow. Shedeur Sanders represents that future, whether Stefanski likes it or not. At 2-7, it's not about chasing the playoffs anymore. It's about pride, progress, and planning for next year. That's why every decision from here on out matters. If Stefanski stays stubborn and the offense keeps sputtering, it won't just be Gabriel's job on the line. It could be Stefanski's too. Cleveland's ownership has shown patience in the past, but they're also aware that fan support is fragile. Empty seats, declining viewership, and constant criticism can make any front office nervous. A move to start Shedeur could reignite interest, sell jerseys, and bring some optimism back to a tired fan base. So here we are again. The Browns are searching for answers. The fans are demanding change. And a young quarterback with a famous last name is waiting in the wings. Whether or not Shedeur Sanders finally gets his shot this week, one thing is certain: the calls for him aren't going away. If anything, they're only getting louder. And sooner or later, Kevin Stefanski will have to decide whether to listen to his gut or the crowd. Either way, this story is far from over. Cleveland's season might already be lost, but its next chapter could be just beginning, with Shedeur Sanders holding the pen. Enjoying the content so far? Smash that like button and drop your take in the comments. We want to hear what you think about the Browns this season. Something's brewing in Cleveland, and if you've been keeping an eye on the NFL buzz, you already know that Myles Garrett has officially flipped a switch, the kind of switch that changes games, seasons, and maybe even the trajectory of an entire franchise. Rumors have been swirling for weeks, whispers in the locker room and chatter across social media, and now it feels like the pressure is real, tangible, almost electric. Fans in Cleveland are waking up with a renewed sense of hope and a little bit of nervous excitement, because Garrett isn't just playing football anymore. He's making a statement. People are calling it a pressure mode, and insiders say it's more than a metaphor. It's a transformation, a shift in mentality that is changing how the Browns operate both on and off the field. Sources close to the team have hinted that Garrett has been pushing himself harder than ever in training, staying late at the facility, drilling techniques, and even studying opposing quarterbacks with a zeal that rivals a film student obsessed with their final project. The word is that he's not just satisfied with being one of the league's most dominant defensive ends. He wants to redefine the position entirely, and Cleveland is the canvas. Coaches are reportedly thrilled but also cautious, because when Garrett enters pressure mode, everything around him intensifies. Practices get more intense, teammates feel the weight of higher expectations, and rival offenses know that when he's on the field, every snap could end in chaos for them. It's the kind of energy that spreads quickly, and sources say the locker room vibe has shifted in subtle but unmistakable ways. Insiders have been dropping hints about late-night meetings and strategic sessions where Garrett's influence is impossible to ignore. The star defensive end isn't just showing up to do his job, he's shaping the team's identity. Rumor has it that he's even taking younger players under his wing, offering tips on hand placement, leverage, and reading offensive lines before the snap. There's talk that his presence alone is making veterans elevate their own game, creating a sort of ripple effect that could last far beyond the current season. Coaches have been careful not to overstate it publicly, but sources close to the Browns front office have allegedly whispered that Garrett's mindset is shifting the entire defensive strategy. Teams that thought they could quietly pass through Cleveland without fear are now being forced to rethink their approach entirely. Some chatter has even suggested that Garrett's pressure mode could be a response to personal goals, and perhaps even a chip on his shoulder. After years of being recognized as one of the league's premier pass rushers, but not always having the team's success to match, insiders hint that Garrett wants to seize control of his narrative. He's tired of being measured by individual stats alone. He wants wins. He wants influence. He wants the kind of aura that makes opposing quarterbacks think twice before stepping into the pocket. Sources close to the locker room say this isn't a temporary burst of energy, it's a commitment. Rumors have it that he's redefining what it means to lead, not through speeches or media soundbites, but through sheer force of will and consistent, uncompromising excellence on the field. Fans have started picking up on the change as well. Social media posts show glimpses of what insiders have been buzzing about for weeks. Clips of Garrett dominating practice drills, quick-handed sacks that leave linemen sprawling, and moments where his intensity seems almost cinematic. There's a growing sense that the Browns could be entering a new era, not just as a team, but as a defensive powerhouse led by a man who seems determined to leave nothing on the table. Sports analysts and commentators are starting to speculate, with some saying that Garrett's level of focus could inspire a whole new culture in Cleveland, a culture where pressure mode isn't just a personal state, but a team ethos. People are asking whether this could finally be the turning point for the Browns, a franchise that has had moments of brilliance but rarely sustained dominance. Rumors in media circles suggest that Garrett's energy is contagious, influencing game plans, practice schedules, and even front office strategies. There are whispers that even opponents are talking about Garrett differently. Offensive coordinators are reportedly adjusting their game plans specifically to account for his presence, sometimes spending hours reviewing film just to figure out how to slow him down. And yet, the more they strategize, the more Garrett seems to adapt. According to sources, there's a sense that he thrives on these challenges, almost feeding off the attention. It's as if every double team, every chip block, every offensive adjustment is a personal invitation to push harder. Rumors suggest that quarterbacks entering games against Cleveland feel the tension before the first snap, a subtle but undeniable shift in the psychological battlefield. In football, where momentum can turn on a single play, insiders hint that Garrett's aura is becoming a game-changing factor, not just a stat sheet entry. Behind the scenes, whispers point to a deeper transformation. Coaches have reportedly noticed a new level of discipline in Garrett's preparation, mental toughness combined with physical dominance. Sources say he's incorporating everything from advanced analytics to unconventional training techniques, all in an effort to maximize his impact. There are rumors of late-night strategy sessions where Garrett collaborates directly with coordinators, offering insights that challenge conventional wisdom. Some suggest he's even influencing draft decisions and free agent acquisitions, subtly nudging the team toward a vision only he can fully see. Fans have caught wind of this and are speculating online about a potential leadership renaissance, with Garrett at the center of a Browns resurgence that could finally fulfill long-held dreams of sustained success. Even the media has picked up on the change, though they're careful to frame it as a rumor for now. Some outlets suggest that pressure mode could be a defining characteristic of Garrett's career, the kind of narrative that cements legacies and reshapes perceptions. There's speculation that this heightened focus could carry the Browns into the playoffs and beyond, transforming a team that has struggled for consistency into a legitimate contender. Social media buzz is palpable, with fans theorizing, debating, and even creating memes about the intensity Garrett brings to every snap. Rumor has it that teammates respect him more than ever, opponents fear him more than ever, and Cleveland itself is beginning to feel the energy of a franchise on the cusp of something monumental. In the end, nobody knows exactly how far Garrett's pressure mode will carry the Browns, but one thing is clear. The shift is real, noticeable, and impossible to ignore. Rumors will continue to swirl, but if you pay attention to the little signs, intense practice footage, whispered locker room strategies, the way opponents adjust, you can see the story unfolding before your eyes. Myles Garrett is no longer just a player. He's a force, a catalyst, and according to multiple insiders, a man who is determined to turn the Browns into the team that everyone in the league will have to respect. Whether this leads to championships, playoff runs, or a cultural shift that lasts years, the buzz is undeniable. Garrett has turned the pressure dial all the way up, and Cleveland, for better or worse, is about to find out what it means to live in the eye of the storm he's creating. Thanks for riding with us on another Browns Blitz. If you liked the video, share it with a fellow fan, hit subscribe, and ring that bell so you're always part of the Dawg Pound conversation. Go Browns!